what does the Christian fish symbol mean? This one symbol helped early Christians survive persecution, and most people miss what it really means. There are 3 layers to the symbol: practical, protection, and revelation. The practical meaning of the fish was a simple acrostic. Ichthys is the Greek word for fish. Each letter in that word represented a key truth about Jesus. Iota, Jesus; chi, Christ; theta, of God; upsilon, Son; sigma, Savior. When you put it together in Greek, it meant Jesus Christ, Son of God, Savior. There is a theory that in the early days of persecution, Christians used the fish symbol to secretly identify one another. One person would draw a simple arc in the dirt, and if the other person completed the shape of the fish, they knew that they both shared faith in Jesus and they could trust each other. If they drew in the dirt, they were risking their lives, but they did it anyway. Why? They weren't spreading a philosophy. They weren't defending a myth. They were standing by a reality. They saw Jesus alive after death. This wasn't just a symbol of faith. It was a bold claim in a dangerous world. The fish reminds us of our assurance of our salvation, because our assurance doesn't lie in blind faith, but in a verifiable historical event. Their willingness to put their life on the line for this claim gives me confidence, and here's why. You're probably thinking, Lisa, people have died for all kinds of faiths and religions. That doesn't prove Christianity's true. And you're right. People have died for all sorts of beliefs. But here's the difference. Most people die for something they believe is true, but couldn't verify. The apostles and disciples, however, died for something they claimed to have seen. That's not the same. If it was a lie, they would have known. And you don't get tortured, crucified, burned, or fed to lions to protect a story that you made up. They weren't defending a secondhand belief. They were dying for a first-hand encounter. They had said, we saw him, we touched him, we ate with him, he was dead, and now he is alive. And they were so convinced that they let their children, their friends, and their churches face death too, because they knew it wasn't a myth, it was real. And they knew that death was no longer now the end. So when your faith feels hard to hold on to, remember this: you are not following a legend, you are standing in a line of witnesses who saw the impossible and never looked back. It's very interesting that even before the cross, Jesus often used his own spit, I know it's gross, to heal. He used something from his own body. He used his own DNA to restore what was broken. And he did the same thing with his blood on the cross. See, they knew death wasn't the end. Someone had conquered it. Jesus didn't just rise. He shattered the power of fear, shame, and sin. His blood didn't just cover sin, it healed us. Lastly, the fish represented the main mission of the Messiah. In Isaiah 49:6, it indicates that when the Messiah came, there was going to be a great catch. I will also make you a light for the Gentiles, that my salvation will reach the ends of the earth. Again, in Ezekiel 47:9, it says, where the river flows, everything will live. Fishermen will stand along the shore. There will be places for spreading nets. The fish will be of many kinds, like fish of the great sea. When Jesus did his miracles involving fish, like feeding the 5,000 or telling them to cast their nets and drawing in this big load of fish, he was drawing their attention to these messianic prophecies. When he said, I will make you fishers of men, this wasn't new. This was a callback to prophecies that they had heard their whole life. The fish represented the great catch that the Messiah was going to bring, that he would bring God's salvation to the world. And that is exactly what he did.